recently, I spoke to Andrew Huberman last week, and he was explaining to me about the similarities between the grief process and the breaking up process. Apparently, neurologically, it's incredibly similar. It's a distance in time and space and something else, I think. And he was talking about how when you go through a breakup, it is the same networks that are activated as through grief. And as somebody that has been to probably far more military funerals than we can remember or would have liked to, how does that inform your advice for people letting go of people that they lose in their life, whether that be through a breakup or through them passing?
I talked about this on my podcast one time, and speaking of Jocko videos that are out there and people have made videos of this, yes, I have definitely lost too many of my friends, and it took me a little while to start getting pattern recognition on what happens, and it's a very clear pattern. And once I kind of put that out there, I've now heard from many scores of people that, yep, that's what it feels like. And I think if you know what it's going to feel like, just like anything else, if you know what to expect, then it's easier to contend with. So it's like a storm that is hitting you. You know, you lose someone that you know dies, you are going to get put into a storm. And what's scary about it is it's an emotional storm and you have no control over it. So you're going to break down, start crying. You're going to remember bad things, good things. You're not going to be in control of your emotions, which is very difficult for adults because we're used to having some level of control over our emotions. So for a period of time, you're going to get hit with waves of emotion that you have no control over, and they're going to knock you off your feet, and you're not going to be able to finish a sentence. You're going to, it's very, very difficult. But over time, that storm is going to fade a little bit. And those waves are going to get weaker. And those waves still may come. So I don't know if you've lost anyone that's close to you.
No, which is one of the reasons that I'm an only child, two parents, like dogs. Dogs is it. So I have a particular interest.
Right. So there's going to be times where it's been a month since your friend died. And you're going to be sitting there and you're going to hear a song, or you're going to smell a burger that you once had with this individual, and you're going to get overcome with those waves of emotion again. And you might start crying right there. You might have this massive wave of emotion hit you, and then it'll subside. And over time, the waves will become weaker and they'll become less frequent. And here's where people also get into trouble. They think that means that they didn't care about that person. And that's not true at all. It's just that your mind is processing it, and it's okay. So that's what happens. You start off with these huge, uncontrollable emotional storm. That storm will pass. That's number one. Just know that storm is normal, and it's going to pass. And then it's going to still hit you. But over time, those waves of sadness and sorrow are going to get weaker, and they're going to get less frequent, and that's okay. That's a good thing. And look, I haven't broken up with a girl in a long time, but when people ask me about breaking up with girls is, what you have to do when it's not working with a girl is wish them luck, to give them the best of luck, wish them luck, walk away and don't look back. And you're still going to get those emotions. Those things are still going to hit you, but walk away and don't look back. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, if there's any chance that it's going to work out, the best possible way for you to get it to work out is by walking away, by wishing them luck, walking away and don't look back. That's the best way.
How so?
Because if there is something there, then she will let you know eventually. And if there's nothing there, you're going to know that too, because you never hear from her again. That's fine. The protocol for getting her back is to walk away and don't look back. That's the protocol, is to move on. The protocol, if she doesn't want you back, is to walk away and don't look back. So look, and I know it's hard, but you'll get some of those waves, but those waves will become less frequent and they'll become less powerful, and eventually you can move on. And then, the last thing I'll say about this is, in both these scenarios, is remember but don't dwell. So you got you look, you remember your friends, you honor your friends, you remember what they gave you, what they taught you, what you learned from them, what was great about them, what you miss about them. You remember all those things, but you don't dwell in the past and dwell on those thoughts and dwell on the loss all the time, because that's not healthy either, and it's not going to help you, and it's not what your friend would want you to do anyways.
I like the insight around when you are going through grief and then you stop, the sense of guilt that comes through because you feel now somehow that you're doing a disservice to their memory, like you didn't really care or something like that.
Yep. It helps to, it helps to write about what I've told people to do is write that person a letter and tell them what you loved about them, what you're going to miss about them, how you felt about them, what you regret. You write all that stuff in a letter, put it in an envelope, bring it to their grave and put it there. And that will help you process as well. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, I've given a bunch of eulogies for friends that I've lost, and in the beginning, I didn't really recognize that that's a way of healing, but certainly writing down your emotions, your feelings, what you're going to miss, what you loved about them is very therapeutic, and it's very good. And so that's another thing I recommend is you write that stuff down and you bring it to them.
That's another Petersonism from his Rules for Life. He says, if memories still make you cry, write them down.
Yep. That's I talk a lot about being able to detach from your emotions, and it's very important. Well, when you write something down, you are literally detaching from those thoughts because they're going out on a piece of paper that then you can see. So it's a very important thing to do, to write down if there's emotions that you have to deal with, write down. And I just like to give someone some kind of an objective. So instead of just saying, write down the emotions, no, write that person, tell them, and that will kind of be like a writing prompt to get you to write the right things about that situation.